from?
It's me for just a minute. I've been moved to Omaha.
An inmate at the Douglas County Jail. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. To prevent calls from this facility, your current balance is $10.75. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. For more information about our privacy policy, please visit www.connectnetwork.com. After the beep, press 5 to accept this call. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. Stay on the line to accept this call. Thank you for using GTL.
I don't consent to recording of my call. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Hi. I got some information. You'd ask about how to put money on books. I talked to a couple of guys, and I looked in this book. The book didn't really say specifically, but they said that if somebody is local, they can come by the jail. There's a kiosk in the lobby, and they can put money on the books right there, and there's no deduction. You get whatever they give you. Or if they mail a money order, there's no deduction there. The third option is the one where they take an arm and a leg, and that's like at the other place. If you go online and deposit funds that way, then they charge $4 or $5. So that's the options.
Right. When you say mail a money order, where you know the address that we mail it to?
I don't.
It's okay. No, it's okay. I can probably call. I can probably call the jail, man.
Yeah, I couldn't. The information that they publish in these booklets is very limited. So
yeah,
I'm kind of
hamstrung
on that. I did. Go ahead.
No, you know when the robotic call that talks before you get on the phone says they're going to acquire the location of my damn phone. Can you believe that? It's like they try to be intimidating on anybody that wants to talk to prisoners.
That's right. That's right. Detainees, human beings, hostages. Yeah.
Right.
The problem I've got funds down at Leavenworth. I can't get them here though until I've got to send them a letter requesting them to transfer the funds here. And I've asked these people numerous times for envelopes and stuff. I said I've got envelopes with prepaid postage on them in my property. I need my property, and I've gotten no response back, so I can't even do that. I can't send a letter out.
Wow.
So I'm kind of stuck. Yeah, it's pathetic.
Yeah.
And they've got envelopes on the commissary. It's like last week they ran commissary, and of course I didn't have any funds, didn't know how to do it. The guy, and I've got a roommate now, even though they're holding me what they call lockdown 1 maximum custody level because I won't do their TB sorcery. There's another guy that won't do it either. My reasons for religious purposes, his is strictly for health reasons. But we're in the same room, so obviously they're not too concerned about us having TB because we're in the same room together.
Right.
But anyway, he said that you can go ahead and you can fill out the commissary form. I went ahead and filled it out. I put in for envelopes with the postage on it, paper, and that kind of stuff. Anticipating, just in case they send the money up here. But today's the day they fill those orders, and because I, don't have any funds on there, obviously it's not going to happen. But they've got. I guess this is probably cheaper postage and envelopes. I've seen it's only 53 cents for a stamped envelope, whereas when I was down in Saline, they were charging 76 cents each. But I was going to give you a number. There's a Dorothy Boyd is one of the Queen Clan mothers, as they refer to them. Basically, she's a hereditary chief's wife's sister.
Okay.
And her number, do you have something
Yep.
to write with?
Yep.
Okay, it's 77. And I was trying to get to her the address for the U.S. State Department. They're going to try to contact the State Department. Do you have their address, or do you need it?
Well, if you got it, you might as well give it.
I've got it. It's 2201. The letter C is in Charlie. Street, Northwest, room 2236, Washington, D.C. 20520.
Bless you.
And, excuse me, Grand Chief Stanley Stump Sr. has written a letter on my behalf for them. But, of course, where they live, they don't have Internet access at all. So Dorothy is their contact. She's got Internet and all that. She's 50 miles away in Williams Lake. So they were going to drive there yesterday and get her a copy of that letter so she could either try to mail it to them or email it to them or something. And they asked me for this address. I've tried to call them several times since I talked to them a couple of days ago, and I haven't reached them, and it's probably because they're traveling and all they've got is a home line. And,
okay, well, I'll call her and see if and make sure she hears this.
They've got I think it was yesterday, they had a hearing. They're trying to get Dorothy's grandchild back. The Canadian government has kidnapped her grandchild, and put him in foster care. And this is the racket. They're literally kidnapping Native American children, putting them in foster care, claiming they're dependent and neglected, and the government pays the foster family pedophiles, in many cases, $50,000 a year, and then the province gets $250,000.
Wow.
So they're balancing the books. They're doing that in this country, too.
Yeah.
You may not know it, but every city has their own foster program, in large part, and that's how they're balancing the books. You think about it, they got over 300 kids from this one reserve. You know, they got like almost 3,000 people total, and 10% of the population, 300 of these kids, are kidnapped. They're in foster programs, and if you do the math, 300,000, that's $900 million going into their bureaucracy. Almost $1 billion a year generated off of kidnapping 300 kids. This is because the money is fiat. It's fictitious. They print it on a printing press in the back room. It has no value. That's how they get away with this. That's why when these fiat currencies collapse, the system dies.
Yeah.
I was listening to the news briefly last night, and they said in Iowa they're looking at cutting education spending, but they're also looking at cutting funding for prisons and funding for police services. So basically, they're broke, and they realize that you can only tax people so much, and then they move, they leave you, and then you've got nothing. And so their system is slowly crumbling. They got too many people unemployed, even though they say the unemployment rate is 4%. That's only listed people that are getting unemployment. People that have stopped getting unemployment, that just stopped looking for jobs because they're not enough, they're not even counted.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, I understand. This pedophile with Child Protective Services, that was what Schaefer was exposing in Alaska with the native children of Alaskans. And, of course, they put him in prison 27 years. But I have no doubt.
Who's that?
Schaefer Cox up in Alaska. He was exposing child pedophilia rings and with government bureaucrats and businessmen and judges. And they were taking a native Alaskan children, very similar to what you're discussing. And he was exposing that.
Right, and see, that's what I'm working on, is helping these people get their kids back through developing their natural resources, and that's why these people are so hostile, and that's why, and they're not going to admit it. The general public, for some reason, thinks that you've got to have these government perpetrators of crime admitting their crime before it's legitimate. They're not going to admit the crimes that they're doing. They are professional liars. It's like that snake. That's what he does.
Right.
He's a professional liar, and that's the way it is.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm totally with you on that, and I pray that people of America start to stand up and understand what's going on so we can put a stop to it. And this prison system, the prison industrial complex that's for profit, is absolutely insanity, man. It's just gotten out of control.
Mrs. Parsons is sitting in a prison. Mrs. Parsons is a pillar of the community, works her butt off. I mean, both her and I met in college, working our way through college, never asking for a dime from anybody from the very beginning. And, you know, she and I both graduated, started working with different companies. I FedEx and her with her company in electrical engineering. And, you know, taking care of ourselves. We didn't do anything to be here. And therein lies the problem, is that you've got a business operating and viewing us as a threat to their business, and they've got an army of people ready to railroad us into a cage to silence us. And they came after Mrs. Parsons because of me, because they viewed her as a support mechanism for me.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, one comment was made that, you know, she was an electrical engineer, upstanding member of community. 25 years she held that job of electrical engineering. You don't do that by being a criminal, right? That shows that she had an incredible work ethic, standards, morals, and the fact that she's in prison is unforgivable, Mike. I'm with you on that, and these people need to be held accountable. And the people that targeted her, they're the ones that should be in prison.
Right, and the problem is this deep state, as they call it, those embedded bureaucrats, they're not going to hold each other accountable. I went through the process of trying to call the cops and report these criminals, and I got nowhere. So then I sued and got nowhere, and so then I ran for office, and I got railroaded into prison. The system is broken.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Anyway, that's what we're dealing with. It's hardcore, deep embedded criminality that's top to bottom, and until the people stand up, and you never see people picketing in front of a courthouse. You never see people contacting the news media and demanding, raising Cain, demanding that something be done. It's almost unheard of, because people are so busy trying to make a living, to pay their taxes, to survive,
right,
that they don't have the means, the will, or the resources and such to put up a fight individually. It's collectively. It's our voices, and we're all singing together. We're all doing the same thing on the same page in mass numbers. That's when it stops. When the people got up and walked out of Egypt, it stopped. Of course, they had a little bit of help from the man above, who created some plagues to the detriment of the Pharaoh. But at the end of the day, all those people getting up in masses, they couldn't have stopped him anyway.
Right. Amen to that. Amen. But, well, we're speaking to Ed Brown. You know Ed and Elaine Brown, right? Does that ring a bell?
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
He's calling and putting a message out from prison too, and he's telling everybody to expatriate and just renounce your corporate citizenship, which is a fraud anyway, and just get the hell out of this corporate America.
Right, and I've done that, but the thing is, you're not renouncing your citizenship. You were never a citizen in the first place. That was a fraud and a lie. You were deceived into a false notion, and because it's fraud, it's void on its face.
Yeah.
We are American. We are Americans. We are creations in God's image. We are the people. Look at the Constitution. It says, the people, the people, the people, the right of the people, the right of the people. We're viewed as the people, not the citizen subject slaves.
Yeah.
When people stand on their God-given rights, their unalienable rights, and don't convert themselves into subject slaves, then they have power. But we're still dealing with criminals, and I'm all about solutions. I'm not married to one solution. Let's just solve this problem and move on with life. Life is too short.
Yeah. No, amen. And I pray that the Lord gives us guidance, because this is a big mess. It's a big tangled mess, and we need American people to wake up to realize what's going on, and we need action. There's no doubt about it.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Well,
I don't know.
If you can, I don't know if Mrs. Parsons calls you ever or whatever.
No, I haven't had a phone call in a while, but I do get emails from her from time to time. I have email correspondence with her.
Right. Well, if you can ask her if Felicia locked the gate when she left, and if anybody went in the house. I asked my mom to go by there, and she's not willing to. She's afraid.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just worried that they just left the gate open and anybody and everybody could go out there and do whatever they wanted to.
It might be best if I try to reach out to Felicia and ask that. So I think I've got her phone number.
Yeah, or Chip, if you've got the ability to see if Chip can go by there and check it out again, or maybe have Mary call Chip because it's a different number. He might answer the phone if he sees a different number.
Now, who's Chip again? Remind me who Chip is.
Chip Ward. He's a friend, and
okay.
His number's 9.
Okay.
Don't publish his number.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for using GTL.